In today's video, I'm going to show you how to give your end users the ability to power on a session host VM inside of a pooled or a multi-session host pool that they are connected to. This feature is available with Nerdio Manager version 2.9 and newer. And as you'll see on my screen here, I have two browser windows open. In the top window right here, I have Nerdio Manager open as an administrator. I'm logged in and can make changes. And then on the bottom, I am logged in as a end user or a desktop user. And I want to show you what that experience looks like. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the host pools that are available here inside of my workspace. So for example, what I will show you is the new option that's available on the properties WBD page called allow end users to start a session when none are started. Okay, so this checkbox is new, and this checkbox will be unchecked for any of your existing host pools. If you are installing Nerdio version 2.9 into an existing WVD environment, so it will be unchecked. You'll be able to check it. However, any newly created host pools will have this option checked automatically. And by having this checked, you are giving users who are assigned to an app group that's part of this host pool the ability to start a session host if no session hosts are started. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK on this host pool. And if you'll scroll through the list here, you'll see I have several host pools that I am part of that are multi-user host pools. And some of them have hosts running like this one, and some of them do not, like this one. Now let's take a look at the user experience. When the user logs in to the Nerdio Manager, if they've been given the end user role, which is found on the users and roles page. So I've assigned this user called NMW tester and given it an end user role. I then logged in to a private browser window as the NMW tester user, where I'm presented with just a single menu here instead of all of these admin menus called desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page. And you will see several things listed on this desktops page. At the very top is going to be a list of any currently logged in sessions into pooled desktop. So this says pooled sessions, and you can see that I'm currently active as this NMW tester user on a particular pooled session host. It tells me which VM I'm on, what workspace I'm a part of, and I have several actions I can take because this is a pooled session. I cannot shut down this machine, I cannot restart it, but I can log off, disconnect, or send a message to my own session. The next section here is called personal desktops. This is where you will see all of the personal desktops that are assigned to the user. And when those are assigned, you will see, because they're individual desktops, I have the option to manage the power state. So I can turn them on, I can turn them off, restart them, and do kind of the typical power and session management on these desktops. If I'm logged into one of them, then I will also have the session-related actions available here as well. As we scroll down the list, this is the new section that you will now see called Pool Desktops and Apps. And this will list any currently available host pools that I am assigned to and their current state. Now, the ones where I currently have a session will not be listed here. So you will see app attached demo host pool is not in this list. So only the ones where I am assigned to are listed here. And there's a few different things that you can do. So number one, you see here I have a host pool called Azure Government Host Pool. It's in my Azure Government workspace. And currently there are no hosts started in this host pool. So let's go ahead and find it. Let's go to Workspaces, Azure Government. Here's my Azure Government Host Pool. And if I look under the Properties WBD page, this checkbox is checked. And because it's checked, I now have a button to power on a host, because as you'll notice, This host pool does have a host in it. It could have multiple hosts, but it's currently not turned on. So you can click on, and what that will do is that will turn on this session host, allowing me to log into it. Once that session host is turned on, and you can see there it is, it's coming on up there, you'll see the status of this host pool will change to available to log in. Now, I don't have a way of shutting anything down because, again, this is a multi-session host pool. I don't have that control as an end user. But if there are no hosts in the host pool and the hosts are available, and I'm given the rights to do so, I can power on these VMs. So obviously, this is very useful in scenarios where you've configured your auto scale to scale into 0, which is the ability to shut everything down overnight, but you still want to give your end users the ability to turn on their machines, a session host, if they need to work outside of business hours. So this is what they will be able to do. They'll just log into Nerdio Manager, find the host pool they want to connect to, turn on, and that will allow them to log in once this host comes online, which is what it's doing right now. You can see that I was the user who started it. If we look down this list, you'll notice I have several other host pools. For example, this Finance Virtual Desktop, it says no started session hosts, but I do not have a power on button. And the reason for that is because if I go and find this Finance Virtual Desktop, which is right there, and I look on the properties WVD page, this box is unchecked. If I were to check this box and then refresh my page, then I would get the button to turn on that host pool. So that is the new capability that was added in Nerdio Manager for WVD version 2.9 that allows you to scale into 0 by shutting down all the hosts outside of business hours and giving users the ability to, on demand, turn on those VMs as needed. And again, for my example before, you can see my Finance Virtual Desktop now has a power on button. Hope you found this useful, and I look forward to seeing you in next videos.